Aloha kako, everybody. How you guys doing on Aloha Friday? Wherever you are, it is Friday, and getting ready for a very nice weekend. And my name is Kamaka Brown, right over here, and we are so excited about having a special guest, a good friend, on the Aloha Friday show, and we're gonna bring him in. But right now, he's in the green room enjoying the sushi platter, the poke bowl, and also some special smoked marlin wind fly all the way in from Kailua Kona. My cousin went smoked some marlin, so I brought him in right now. First of all, big mahalo to Brittany Paiva. She is such a talented musician. She plays the ukulele like it's going out of style, and she has so lovingly allowed us to use her music as a theme song for our Aloha Friday show. So big shout out to Brittany Paiva. Woo! So talented girl. Yes, indeed. So the Sandwich Island Social Network produces the show every Friday. We are part of the Sandwich Island Social Network. You can find out more information about us. Lower right-hand corner of your screen, sandislands.org. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization serving Hawaiians and Hawaiians at heart away from their island home, many of whom live right here on the continent, right here nearby. Actually, a lot of you are my neighbors, as a matter of fact, but that's all good. That's all good. Well, without further delay, I do want to bring on board our very special guests for this afternoon, and we have we met really back in 2016. I cannot believe it's going to almost 20 years coming up there. This gentleman, and we had mutual friends that we'll be talking about as well. Please welcome to the Aloha Friday show, Mr. Peter APO. Aloha, hey. Peter. Welcome.
Yay! Welcome. Where I live, there are rainbows. Life in the laughter of morning. Aloha.
I love it. I love it. Peter APO is perched very nicely his home up in our air overlooking Pearl Harbor, and he is very lovingly accepted our invitation to join us on the Aloha Friday show. And so thank you so much for taking some time out of your busy schedule. I know you get all kinds of things going on, and we'll talk about that as well. In the meantime, let's see. We have a few of our guests have joined us over here. First of all, Brother Marty Burns. Brother Marty Burns has Broke the Mouth Bakery, a pop-up bakery over here in Southern California. He is a retired football coach, and love to have Marty come on board. He's one of our original gangsters of Aloha over here on the Sandwich Islands. And jumping in right now, and I'm so glad you're able to join us. This gentleman also is Mr. Daryl Wilson.
Whoa!
Daryl, I'm glad you're able to join us, that you're able to find us over here. And welcome to come along for the ride and jump on in anytime as we talk with Peter here today. So welcome, Daryl. Here is here is Jody Kono. What's up, Jody? Aloha to you. I don't know if Jody is back on the Aina or she is still working in Las Vegas. Jody worked, and last time I talked with her, for the folks with the Zippies organization, and she was on board helping them get Zippies into Vegas. So she will let us know what's going on. And also, here's a musician friend of mine, Bobby Agnew. Bobby plays great 12-string guitar.
Oh!
Bobby, he's awesome. And Bobby and I spent some time together last time I was on the Aina. We just happened to be on the Aina at the same time, and we got together and we shared some grinds together as well. So welcome, Bobby. Glad you're able to join us. So you know what, Peter? I'm going to just hit you with this, bro, because we love two things we love to do on this show. Number one, we like to talk about food.
Okay.
And number two, we love stories. We love the mo'olelo. So picture this, okay? I went down to LAX. I jumped on a plane. I took the red eye special back home to Honolulu. I am hungry, man. I am past hungry. I am hangry. I call you up, and I said, Peter, I'm hungry. where we going to eat, where we going to grind. Please don't say McDonald's. Please don't, where we going to grind some good grinds. Where do you go that you enjoy?
The best grouping of choices for local person to me, if you got to decide, like right now, we are going is Zippy's because it's a
Jody, be glad to hear that.
Zippy's. It's a multicultural menu,
Uh,
and
uh,
and the other thing is you can either go into the takeout section where you can sit
I
down and sorry, or you can go into the table service section. Blah
okay.
blah blah. Yeah. So to me, that would be the hey, we're going to eat. Oh yeah, I'm going to Zippy's now. Now if what you want to do is plan an evening and plan like an upscale dinner or something, that's a whole different thing. In that case, I would go online and go find something you want to do. Probably in Waikiki or Ko'olina.
Okay,
the up,
okay.
the upscale stuff,
The
right?
upscale stuff. Got it.
Yeah,
Got it. Well,
yeah.
Jody says I'm still in Vegas, but no more Zippy. So she was contracted to help train and to kind of get the staff on board. So her contract is POW, but she says she's still in Vegas. Okay, girl. All right. Good thing. Good. 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 I met Jody through a mutual friend, Andrew Bumatai, and we'll get together. Now, let me
Yeah,
see. Daryl says I
yeah.
first met Peter through my parents who worked at a Denver club called the Exodus. Ooh.
Oh man, he's bringing back some memories. Oh, Daryl
Do tell about the
was
Exodus
one.
there.
Well, first of all, the Exodus represented a whole national system of folk clubs that
Ah,
referred to largely as coffee houses, the folk era, Kingston Trio, Peter, Paul, and Mary, etc. The band I was in, working out of LA, was called the Travelers Three. Exodus was one of the premier places around the country. Gate of Horn in Chicago was another one like the Exodus, but they would feature all the folk music. And the difference in those clubs, you can't find those things anymore.
yeah.
Uh, is you go in to listen to music, you cannot go in and talk story. See, you talk story, they're gonna kick you out. So, so for an entertainer, it's the perfect venue if you have something where you want to actually communicate, as opposed to um, as opposed to friendly conversation kind music. That's a whole different thing. So the folk rooms provided this great venue for all levels of performers to go and actually connect with audiences. Was really yeah, it was really something. Of course, you had to leave your marijuana at the door, which is not true. You could, anyway, I'm kidding. So Gate of Farm, hey, Daryl, yeah, Denver was an incredible experience. We were
Wow.
there. Our group played there maybe 6, 7 times over a 2 year period.
Was this
It
the
was
Travelers
fantastic.
3 playing at the time?
The Travelers Three, yes, yeah,
Wow. The
yeah,
Travelers 3 here. Look at that. Look at you guys.
yeah.
My
Oh
goodness.
yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, we
Look.
did three. Yeah, the pictures we did. That was a poster. We did 3 albums for Electra. So that's what that
Wow.
poster was about. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
And now, one of the Travelers Three, I had the pleasure of meeting several years ago. He recently passed on, and that is Mr. Charlie Oyama. Tell us about
Yes.
Charlie.
Oh, Charles. Well, let me just give you a little brief history. Um, I graduated from Lee Pacific 1957. I went to University of Oregon my freshman year. First of all, I was surprised that a lot of Hawaiians in Oregon, at the time. And as a freshman, Charlie Oyama had already graduated from University of Oregon, and he was a counselor at South Eugene High School. And
Ah.
so I met him, and he was a heavy duty party guy. So he had a family. He had, 2 kids, wife, and the Hawaiians used to gather at his house every weekend. Was like the center of gravity for Hawaiians. So that's how Charlie and I met. He played. He was a musician, played ukulele, and he had these gigs that he would play at the local like the local, not clubs, but uh, uh, these social clubs. And and there were some hula dancers that were there from Hawaii that were also going to school. So I joined his band. So he was him, me, and this third guy came in. He was a bass player. Long story short, the three of us went from doing these hula shows to folk music because we were really loved Kingston Trio when they came out. The bass player was an old time folk musician, so we learned a lot about folk music from him. And long story short, we eventually ended up leaving Eugene, moving down to LA, and became the Travelers Three. So, so Charlie was a huge part of that. In fact, he was kind of the business ran all the business, for
Hmm.
the Travelers Three. Did really good,
Wow.
but he unfortunately just passed.
Yeah. I have a picture of Charlie when he was here. Um, and this was taken in 2017. And
Yes.
I was able to, and that's the gal in the middle with the Aloha print. That's his granddaughter, Asia
Yeah.
Gamble.
Asia.
And so we were able to put a show together which she and her grandfather played together for the first time. And it was so, so wonderful. Um, his old style slakia, the old kiho alu style, he would say to me, he goes, that's not slakia, what they're playing now today. It's that old style. Like I come from the Alice Namakilo. That's Auntie Alice. She's the one, about
Yeah.
Auntie Alice? I go, yeah. He goes, that's a slacky player. And so, but we had some great conversations. What a
Yeah.
talented man.
Yeah.
And yeah,
And Charlie created a whole life, in it started in Hollywood in LA, and then he ended up buying this corner property in not Glendale, right outside of Glendale. Oh Lord, I can't remember. But he had this beautiful home there, and then the city had rezoned the corner property, which was right on the borderline between commercial properties and residential only. And that corner was pivotal, so it became a commercial property, and so the value of the land went up by 20, 20 times. So he was able to purchase, move up into the hills in the multi-million-dollar homes with a lot of people. And Charlie being, he looks Japanese. He's Hawaiian Japanese. He looks more Japanese. So when he go clean his yard, they think he's the yard man. He's up there. A lot of Chinese and Jewish people lived up in those hills. And
uh,
from there, and that's where Asia used to go. He would fly her up every once in a while, and actually pretty frequently, and teach her slack key. She would
ah,
specifically go to get slack key lessons from him, and I mean, they were, really locked together, really strong.
yes,
That's a
yes.
beautiful, beautiful relationship. And of course, look at Asia today. She's magnificent.
She is absolutely
That's, yeah,
strong genes, man. Those strong
strong genes.
genes. Yeah,
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
How interesting that our you and I, our collective paths cross with folks that were very, um, you know, lots of heart, so much aloha, and
Yes.
I was sad to hear of Charlie's passing, but we spent some fun times together. What a great sense of humor too. What a rascal too.
Yeah.
He's like,
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. But you know what's so cool, Kamaka, is those of us who spent from Hawaii, a lot of time up there, met people from Hawaii and created these relationships. When we talk story, it's the topics we talk about are a little bit different, very local from those who have never had the mainland experience. Whether it's California or East Coast, because that coming from, and maybe we talk about that a little bit later, but the difference between people who Hawaiians who have relocated or who have spent a lot of time mainland versus Hawaiians who kind of just stay here,
hmm,
and become part of this lifestyle that's in Hawaii. Uh, Interesting relationships between those two bodies. Same group from same people, but a little bit different approaches to how they live in life.
Yes, 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 yes.
But we maybe later.
Yeah, I want to just give a aloha to Abella Carol in Long Beach, California. Welcome, Abella. Glad you could join us. Abella is a beautiful hula dancer. She just took first place
Oh,
in her age group at the Tahitian dance competition in San
oh,
Diego last weekend. She's so sassy, so sassy.
wow.
Um, and she is also the editor of our digital magazine, Malama. Let's see, who else is joining us? Melissa McDowell is from Southeast Virginia. My goodness, welcome, Melissa. Good to have you. Good to have you join us. If you have any questions for Peter, jump on in. And Jody is saying, "Oh, come see me in Vegas." You know what? I may just do that, girl. Watch out. Watch out. Stan Tashiro, brother Stan just joined us. Brother Stan is a ukulele instructor. He has ukulele classes here in Southern California. And if I'm not mistaken, Stan is also from the area too, right, Stan? I think I remember that you're from Aya. And here is Nate Jones, who's our production
Yeah.
coordinator. Nate Jones, our production
Hey,
coordinator for the show. He's going, Aloha Pita. Good to have a
how's that,
fellow
Nate?
mid-pack owl. You guys both went
I
through the
can't
same,
believe
and
it. Went same high school, same college.
then same college. Ha, I tell you, those owls and those ducks, man, they keep together.
Owls and ducks. Yes,
Owls and
right.
ducks, brah. uh,
Funny.
Daryl Wilson says, Peter, I
Yes.
have a photo of you and Charlie sitting in our living room eating my dad's pizza. Do you remember Bob and Ia Wilson? Oh, Bob Wilson.
Of course.
Oh.
Yes. Oh my God. Oh, memories. Wow.
Memories, huh? Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah. It
yeah.
kind of makes my heart go bump. It's
Aw.
like those
Aw.
were incredible days. I mean, one of the best parts of my life was back then,
Wow.
traveling the country, playing music, and meeting people like the Wilsons
Yeah.
all over
Santa,
the country. Really
Santa
cool.
Shiro says, I had the honor to play with Uncle Charlie. What a wonderful
Oh,
musician. Oh, man.
yes, yes,
Yeah. And Stan
yeah.
Stan says, uh oh, Pearl City, go Chargers. Hey, Pearl City.
Good
um,
choices. Yeah.
I didn't want to. If I miss some of your comments, Ekalamai, I'm enjoying the conversation here, and I'm seeing also the comments coming in. And if I missed your post, Ekalamai, but thank you for joining us as well. Um, so you know, when did this? You have so many accolades and so many awards over the years. I mean, you after you left college, you came back to Hawaii. What made you? Why did you not just stay on the continent? What made you go back to the Aina?
It's the only way I can explain it. I have never had a plan. I have always, and this is not intentional. It's just the way I grew up, I guess. Um, I worked from when I started working. I was 9 years old. I used to sell newspapers on the corner at the time. Stubbleton Advertiser, and I delivered newspapers. Uh, One of the most interesting things I did at 9 years old, maybe I was eight, is shining shoes under the banyan tree at Waikiki. At that time, all the military had to wear uniforms. They were not allowed to wear civilian clothes. And when they went back to check in on base, their shoes had to be shined, or the guards would hit them in their knees with the kind of stick. Anyway, so having their shoe shines, and of course, all the military guys would be packing out in Waikiki. I'll tell you, we could not. The business was great. It was 25 cents a shine. We'd have to make our own little boxes. So ever since then, I've always worked on through college. But even when I went to college, I didn't know what I wanted to do. So because I had met Charlie and he was in psychology, I decided, oh, okay, well, I'm going to do psychology. Not that I wanted to be I didn't really understand how it worked. And then I shift to drama. So I go to school. Halfway through school, the Travelers 3 thing comes up because we're playing music. I'm with Dick, Charlie. They're both already out of school. So decide that we got to move to LA. And so I leave school in my junior year. Each step of the way, I'm just following my passion. And I ended up being in the music business. I had a career after actually performing music, working for a concert promotion company, and we used to book gigs all over the nation with big artists, Kenny Rogers, stuff like that.
Hmm.
So I did about 5 years of that. Again, then I came home. I was supposed to only in 1975. I was only supposed to be home for like 2 weeks. I hadn't seen my family in several years. I got so emotional about not being here. Plus, I was doing a lot of drugs at that point in my life.
Hmm.
And I kind of figured this out. I mean, I will admit that, not heavy duty stuff. I wasn't into heroin or anything like that. Coke, all of that. And that's what you did when you were in LA at the time. And somehow my brain actually started to work right. And I said, you know what? If I go back to LA, I'm probably going to die from drugs. So I got to stay home. So I stayed home. And I'll tell you how dramatic that was. I never went back to get my stuff. I had years of stuff which I regret now. I just wrote my landlord and I said, hey, you know what? I'm not coming back. I pay you the rent. Do me a favor. All the stuff dump. And so I just dumped everything and just stayed here.
Wow.
And that started a whole new period in my life.
Mm.
My mom and dad were public servants at the time. My mom was Board of Education. So then I began to get really interested in what they were doing, which is community service. That started me on like a 20, 30-year track in community service. I ran for OHA, I ran for the legislature. Every step of the way was like, oh, I'm going to turn left now. Oh, I'm going to turn right. Just following my passion.
Hmm.
Um, Now, I say that and very briefly, on the other hand, my wife always knew what she wanted to do from high school. And she's a psychologist after all these years. She had a plan, she carried it all out. So, the difference between how people live and how you move forward, as you get older. So, so when I read my own resume, I can't believe it. I go, what? You must have been a little insane, right? Jumping from here, jumping from there. But it's been interesting.
Yeah. One thing
uh,
that kind of stood out, after you moved back in '75,
yes.
was your involvement with the Office of Hawaiian Affairs as a trustee.
Oh, yes.
Tell
Yes.
us how that happened, and I believe this is the picture of the first. Was
That's
this?
the first board. The first board. That's Iolani Palace is in the background.
Uh huh.
And we had officially already been sworn in, but this was a like photo opportunity to be sworn
This is
in in the
1980,
this is 78.
78. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Wow.
No, I'm sorry, this is 1980, right? 78 was when the constitutional amendment was passed to
Okay.
form OHA. And then
Okay.
80, they had the election and the trustees. Yeah, 1980.
And
Um,
the mission behind the Office of Hawaiian Affairs, in a nutshell, was what?
the mission was to try to create a situation where Hawaiians could create their own, what's referred to as AIA, self determination. uh, and to provide a center of gravity for Hawaiians to gather and to have an organization that had some authority, to rule and to organize the Hawaiian community. That was the whole constitutional purpose. So it was supposed to be able to get Hawaiians together and talk about self determination. Where do we go from here? How do we deal with the illegal overthrow of 1893? Um, After it's been over 100 years now, dealing with transgenerational trauma. So OHA was supposed to be this highly position authoritative body that did not answer to the governor or the state legislature. And the only connection technically to the state was monies that owed to OHA through what is still now the ceded land trust. And then OHA began to build a whole financial base with off of Wall Street, with investments. So OHA is supposed to be the gathering spot, and the history. I don't want to like the history is really, really interesting, and it's filled with interesting turns. Uh, Still a long ways from achieving what it's formally intended, and I think at this point there's some confusion as to what the mission is, and
Mm.
what OA is supposed to be doing. They're doing a lot of good stuff, but whether or not they're still on the track of air self determination uh, is kind of suspect because there doesn't seem to be a lot of effort in trying to organize everybody. But they do a lot of good stuff. I don't know if that explains it, but
Okay. Yeah. All right.
so yeah, so I got real interested in that because while I am technically a liberal and generally a Democrat, I really think of myself more as an independent in the sense that I am a Hawaiian. And so I try to make all the decisions as to how do I live my life, what are my politics, is about things that will help the Hawaiian community, finally come out of this transgenerational trauma and how have our day in the sun in being able to determine, how we're supposed to move forward as a people. And I don't have any specific governance models in mind other than Hawaiians should be able to decide, what that model is going to be and how it works, and then we'll see. But we got to do it in a way where we're sure that everybody had a voice and we were doing something that most of the people would support.
Okay.
We're still a long ways from that.
All right. You know what? We're going to take a small kind break. And when we come back, I'm going to ask you this question. What is a Hawaiian? What what qualifies a person to say, I am Hawaiian? This was the Office of Hawaiian Affairs. How did that affect Hawaiians, right? And
Mhm.
we have many more Hawaiians living off the Aina on the continent and around the globe than there are back home. And so some of us have the question on, how Hawaiian am I and what
Yeah,
is a Hawaiian? We'll talk
yeah,
about that when we come
yeah.
back on the Aloha
Okay.
Friday show with Peter Apo. If you just join us, go hang on, hang on. We'll be right back with our guest for today, Mr. Peter Apo.
It's Aloha Friday.
Travelers 3, baby. Look at that. Look at Charlie on that banjo, man. Just pluck it away. Oh my goodness. Oh my
That was,
goodness.
yeah, that was a really popular show back then. Every week they would go to a different college. So that one was in UCLA, and
Oh,
there would be
okay.
like maybe seven or eight folk acts on, and they would move around the country. And there
Uh-huh.
was a really popular show called Hootnan.
Oh yes, I remember Hootenanny. Yes, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah. So
Yes,
we,
yes.
yeah, it was really cool, really cool.
Daryl says
Um,
I have three of the Travelers 3 albums and I listen to them often. They are some of my
oh,
favorite.
oh,
Is that
oh man,
awesome? Oh man.
that is awesome. Daryl.
um, Melissa McDowell says, I've got some 45s of Hawaiian music. How good do they have to be before I mail them to you? Well, I'm
Nailed
not
it.
um, 45s. Yeah, you'd have to have a turntable that plays 45s, or because most of them are digital right now. Well, thanks for offering that, Melissa. Oh my goodness. Daryl says in my archives are Exodus ads showing the Travelers 3 and when they would be playing. Oh my goodness. He's
Oh
got
Lord.
oh man. So how long did the Travelers 3 plus one last? Oh, there was a plus one on there.
Yeah, Dick Shirley had left the band after about 6 years, and then the last like 3 years, uh, we added a drummer. Uh, we were in a period where the folk thing started to switch with the adding a few electric instruments. Bob Dylan made this kind of switch from all
Yeah.
and so we added a drummer, and then we had a new bass player, Joe Lamano. Joe Lamano ended up with the association, and Mike Botts, our drummer, was an incredible drummer. Ended up with a couple of really, really big bands.
There was
Uh,
another local boy on the association too, right? Was he from Molokai or Lanai?
yeah, Chinese
He just passed
guy.
away. Yeah, he just passed away
Oh
too.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah. Uh,
yeah.
I'm looking at Civil Beat Honolulu, which I
Yeah.
subscribe to. I get the emails and updates, and on it, you are a regular contributor or to Civil Beat with a lot of op-ed pieces, and I'm looking at over 60 of them, such as what does it mean to be Hawaiian? How do we define Hawaiian in the 21st century? I see building a virtual nation, building a cultural nation. And so before the break, I had shared with you, I said, share with us is it to be a Hawaiian in the 21st century, and what really is a Hawaiian? Are we talking about blood quantum? Are we talking about somebody who just lives on in Hawaii? So, from your purview, from where you sit, perched on the mountain in yeah, overlooking Pearl Harbor, um,
Yeah.
what's a Hawaiian?
Well, first of all, the word Hawaiian is not a Hawaiian word. Okay. Hawaiian, the word Hawaiian came up during the kingdom period, and it meant I am from that place called Hawaii. So it didn't matter whether you're Hawaiian or you were an immigrant from Japan, Korea, China, wherever. You were the definition back then was I am from that place called Hawaii. Today it's changed. When you say oh Hawaiian, they're talking about blood quantum Hawaiian. Now there's so many different ways to define Hawaiian or any really basic culture. Obviously, bloodline is important, and it is a one way to define yourself. But bloodline alone does not define who you are in terms of how you think, uh, how you approach your culture. Uh, in 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 Hawaii, the multiculturalism that has come out of that. So let me give you an example of well, first of all, there are some Hawaiians who I think are so tied. to the notion that if you are not Hawaiian by blood, then you are not Hawaiian. You have that extreme on that side. But there's a whole nother way to determine a person's, in my opinion, person's Hawaiianness. Uh, let me go to one end of the spectrum. Two of the greatest language people in Hawaii. Uh, well, one of them, Nogelmeyer, right? Nogelmeyer is not Hawaiian. And I remember Nogelmeyer when he was growing up in Waianae. This goes back to the 70s. He was a skinny little haole kid out of Waianae who had trouble getting into a halau. Uh, but the kumu was so, plenty aloha. And that was his beginning in learning Hawaiian. And he became so that over the years, going to school and all of that. So now he's like the in the top three linguists Hawaiian. So you have a lot of people here who have these heavy duty Hawaiian credentials who are not Hawaiian by blood. Now, in between that, there are people who, basically, I think describing what Hawaiian is for a lot of us in this era, this time, has to do with how much aloha you have. A lot of Hawaiianness is defined by the amount of aloha. The aloha alakum, aloha aku aloha mai, aloha given, aloha returned. And whether you have the blood quantum or not, exercising of that cultural practice, absolutely, you become part of the Hawaiian community. Now, one of the, when I talk about Hawaiians have to get together and figure out uh, where the future is going to lead us as a quote self-governed sort of some sense of nationhood. Doesn't mean you have to secede from the union. There's lots of Native American tribes, uh, Pacific Islanders who are American citizens. Guam, for example, is a commonwealth. So the business of leaving the United States does not need to be one of the places. But where am I going with this? Uh, but being a Hawaiian, again, a lot of different ways, and the contributions that people can make. The aloha thing is so critical in how you raise your kids. The uh, I guess aloha. I don't know. I'm kind of getting lost in in trying to explain that Hawaiian does not always mean blood quantum. It has to do with behavior and the depth to which you adopt elements of the culture. A person who, for instance, halal. Look at the halals today, all the different people that get in and learn to do the hula. You cannot say that those people, and half of the people that are doing hula are not Hawaiian by blood, right? So how do you say that they are not Hawaiian in practicing, a deep cultural practice like that? So I hope we can get rid of this thing that we have sometimes among Hawaiians that we're kind of a little snotty
Mm, mm,
about what it means to be Hawaiian. It does not necessarily have to be by blood.
mm.
I'd love to
I
hear other people's comment on what they think about that.
Yeah, I love your thought of behavior and depth of aloha that quantifies someone that has a love for the islands and a love um, for the traditions
Yeah.
as well. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
and the aloha thing is so powerful. Sometimes I think we really because it's so sort of commonly spoken about, commonly talked about, that sometimes we forget how heavy duty that word is. I mean, it created an entire industry in Hawaii, a mega billion-dollar industry. The word aloha, the spread. We are the aloha state, aloha. It's in our, I mean, that defines who we are. So if you practice aloha and you're from that place called Hawaii, then you are Hawaiian.
Very good. Um, so you have a book that's coming out. or has it recently has been
Oh,
published, or you have a book? And I wanted to share with our friends um, on this your project, Trouble in
yeah. It
Paradise. Hmm.
Yeah, it's scheduled to be released in. I think it's just now starting to get out by the publisher. Yeah, it's what it is. It's a collection of several years of my civil beat columns, and also columns that I wrote over the years for the Oha newspaper, Kawai Ola. And so it has two sections to the book, all the civil beat articles, the Kawai Ola articles, and some comments. But it's an easy read. You don't have to read through the whole book. The way it's the table of contents is laid out is it posts the title of each of the articles. So you just look at a title that interests you, like what does it mean to be Hawaiian, and then you go to that article, read it. So it's kind of one of those things where you pick up every once in a while and check out a column that you like. But that's out now. So
Okay.
I'm going to be kind of working the turf and trying to get that
So
distributed. Yeah,
it says Trouble in Paradise. Is this a
yeah.
foreboding of some some
It, it's
long-standing?
a Yeah, it's our struggles, the struggles that we have, and it's not. Why most of it is about the Hawaiian community, Hawaiian struggles with the and how we're doing in moving forward with against self determination. It covers some other grounds too. It's not only about Hawaiian. You know.
Okay. All right. Um, Here's Bella. She said, Aloha is so heartfelt. Sometimes it's hard to put into words, but you
That's right.
feel it. You feel it when it is shared.
That's right. Let me give
Ooh,
you
I
a
love that.
Hey, Kamaka, I gotta share this story with you. When you talk about aloha aku, aloha mai, aloha aku, aloha given, aloha return. So the Hawaii state capital, um, parking on the bottom, on the basement of the capitol, usually very very busy. So while this 2 years ago when I went to a session and all the parking stalls were taken except there were two left. I got one. I pulled in. Now this was before there were change machines where you could go get quarters. Yeah, didn't have any of that, and it was before credit cards. So I get in, put in my change. Now this other car pulled in and had two Wahinis and a guy. Long story short, they were Chinese. I could hear them talking it with the accent, and stuff. And they were concerned they didn't have enough quarters and they were late for a hearing that they had to testify on. Uh, so they were panicking out. And I always carry a bag of coins, right, for that reason. So again, long story short, so I walk over to them. I said, look, I gave them $3 worth of coins. The guy, first of all, he kept trying to pull his hand away, and I put the thing in his hand, and then I walked away. I come back 3 hours later. Their car is gone. Under my car is an envelope under the hood with $100 bill. That's aloha. I mean, to me, that was an expression. Thank you, for what, because I could see the relief, on their faces. So that's kind of one example of how you never know how it's going to happen, and the fact that you extend aloha today doesn't mean that you're going to get it back right away. But somewhere down the line, the cycle keeps getting repeated. And here we are with this incredible visitor industry that's built on this one word,
Hmm.
aloha.
Hmm. Tell me about, we're at the 1 year anniversary of the fires in Lahaina, in West Maui. And
Yeah.
what are your thoughts?
Oh boy, it's going to be a long time. The recovery in terms of the financial aspects of the recovery, I really can't comment. I don't understand how all of that is going to work. but it's going to be the pain is going to be here for a long, long time. It's going to take a long time. And I, while I don't know a lot about, I haven't been really keeping up with all the details of all the different kinds of assistance they're getting. First of all, I think the global response to Lina was unreal. Talk about aloha, right? Uh, and the people, the way people have rallied, not only in Hawaii, but from around the world, was so just incredibly impressive. Where I think the two tiers of moving forward. One, it's going to be a long while before those people who lost all their homes and who are in dire straits right now, trying to figure out what they're going to do. It's going to take a long time to figure that out. So, you know, uh, I think the really challenging idea is there's some notion that some people want to kind of recreate what was there before to kind of restore the past. And I hear that dialogue from some quarters. I'm not sure that that's possible because the stuff that was there occurred in a very natural way. It wasn't like an architectural plan that you did. One kind of store here and another kind. It was all kind of just it was sort of slapped together, and the fact line. So how to redefine the sense of place is what I'm talking about. How to redefine the sense of place of what Lahaina town was and how it should be in the future. I think a lot of it can be centered on how they handle the harbor. The harbor was always short resources. That's why people didn't want to expand the harbor. So there's a lot of opportunities to restructure what was there, but perhaps not in the same way that it was left. In the fire. Definitely, um, it's going to take extraordinary leadership to lead this thing all the way to the end. Um, right now, the impact, and I don't mean this in any kind of negative way, but the impact of the line of thing has kind of sucked all the oxygen out of the room because it was such a you know, uh, huge, devastating thing to happen. So it's prevented us from having to deal with other situations, other needs for aid and money because we've been able, we've had to kind of collaborate around this. But that's getting better. But certainly thank all those who came forward to help. But we still have a long ways to go. But what it's going to look like 20, 30 years from now, I have no clue. I hope we're smart about how we do that.
Yeah. Um, Many conversations going on, folks that are in decision making process, hopefully get as much input from the community for the best for what happened there in Lahaina. Um,
Yeah.
I do have family there that was affected by the fire, and they are initially involved with hopefully some of the decisions that are going to be made on that.
Yeah, I have on my father's side, Makekau Wila in our family.
Hmm.
So we had a couple of losses, but no one hurt.
Yeah.
It's still our family's still an old man. And I moved there. My dad is Makekau line side, and we live right above the mill. And the Makekaus owned a lot of property up above the Pioneer Mill. Goes way back. I was
Uh-huh.
born in the Pioneer Hospital.
Ah, okay.
19, 1938, the way family goes way back.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
and then check this out. We moved. I was 3 years old, and we lived in Lahaina because my dad is from Lahaina. My mom was from Oahu, but for jobs they decided to move to Oahu. We moved to Oahu on December 6th, 1941.
Oh.
What happened on December 7th, 1941?
Oh my.
And so on December 7th, 1941, we woke up to what? And my father said, I think we made a mistake. And check this out. We had just moved into a house, Pi'ikoi and Young Street. And
Okay.
catty corner from that block was is the school. Oh, what's a school? It's an elementary school. It's by Pico and Young. Oh God. Anyway, we there were bomb shelters at the school,
Oh,
so they
okay.
moved us to the bomb shelters. So here's a question I never could get an answer to. If the if the December 7th was a surprise attack, how come we already had bomb shelters?
Yeah.
I'll let it go at that.
Somebody knew something. Um,
Oh God.
your music and your love and your passion for music uh, continues. That's a thread through much of your life, Peter. Uh, I see there's quite a catalog of your music that is here that our friends can listen to. There's and Peter Apo, the Rainbow Nation, Peter Apo with Del Beasley, Peter Apo, and this one here, Mangoes, Witches, and Coconuts. Mangoes, Witches, Coconuts, and Dragons. That's an interesting. Now,
What was I thinking?
Peter, were you still smoking then, Peter? Were you still?
Oh yeah, smoked on it. Yeah,
Oh,
that's an old flyer.
yeah.
Kamaka, I'll tell you, I love music. I love playing music. I will never stop playing music. It is one of my primary passions. I have never ever been one that was very good at marketing. I was never really interested in marketing. I did all these CDs. Never had a marketing plan. I stuff. So I still have a lot of these sitting in my closet. Uh, nowadays you put stuff out. You got to go out and sell it. You got to become. Basically, what I'm saying, I was in the music business, but I wasn't in the music business. I was
Mm.
in the business of making music, but I wasn't very good at selling music.
So if any of
But
our
it's
friends
all there, so I have a legacy.
So if any of our friends want to get a hold of some of your music, post Travelers 3, you have so many
Yes.
projects after that. How can our friends get your music?
Email me.
Email you, come your
Email me.
house,
I'll send you. Email me. Come my house. Yes.
come my
Yeah.
house, look in my closet. Oh, okay.
There you go. No,
Reach out.
the problem is that nobody has CD players anymore. And here's another
Yeah,
story. So I
yeah.
went to buy. This is a CD player story. I go to buy one car, and I was thinking about a regular car. And this one he points out to me. I had a truck, and I needed a smaller car. I was getting tired of. I didn't need the truck anymore. Tired of parking problems and all of that. So she said, "Hey, get this great Nissan Versa, small, and with only it was 2017, and it's only got 10,000 miles on it, and all the guarantees are good." So yeah, yeah, yeah. So I was going to come. Guess what? It was the last year they had a CD player there, so I bought it. So
that
I'm
that
one
was
of the few guys that can get in my car and play CDs.
that was the selling point that it had a CD player.
That was the selling part. That was more important than anything else. See what happens when you get old?
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Nate Jones has a question over here. He goes, Peter, were you classmates with Jimmy Komitani at MPI?
yes,
And was
yes.
Chief Justice Ronald Moon one class after you?
Chief Justice
Ooh.
Ronald Moon was when he was a freshman was my roommate when I was a junior because he was a naughty boy and
Not Ronald
I was a yes
not
he was a
Ronald
naughty
Moon.
boy. Ronald Moon was a naughty boy, and the dean said, "You got to go live with Peter Paul because he gonna keep you in line."
And also,
It was great. It was great. He was, oh God.
are you
Yeah.
related to former Honolulu City Council Chair Todd Apo?
Yes, that's my cousin.
Oh goodness.
He's
Okay.
he, he's on the Makikau full side of the family. Cousin Todd.
Oh
Oh,
my.
yes.
Um, uh, Stan Toshiro says that Del Beasley is such a kolohe. Yeah, you've worked with Del Beasley, so yeah.
Oh, Dell. I
Uh,
met Dell right after he got out of high school, and I was teaching at the time, Waianae
ah,
High School, when I met Dell, and they lived. His parents lived right around the corner from where my parents lived, and I was staying at their house at the time. So that's how I met Dell. And actually, when I first met, I loved his music. He was playing. He was his wow. So I wanted to do a CD for myself. So he and I used to practice together, and then I thought, hey, you know what? He sounds really good. So I had him do a CD with me. So the first CD I did called APO and Beasley was with Dell. That's one of the
nice,
best ones that I've done, on that
nice.
one.
Okay, all
And
right.
look at him today. He's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Um, Once again, for our friends that are watching and being a part of our little virtual paina over here, I want to bring back the book that
Mm.
um, Peter has published that is out there. Trouble in Paradise for the Record, Hawaii and Hawaiians. And I would imagine that the book is available on the different platforms like Amazon, Barnes and Noble.
Should be.
That is out there if you'd like to pick up a copy of Peter's work there.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe an hour has already passed by. We have so much more to talk
Um,
about of you. There's so
yeah.
much more, but
Yeah. Sorry if I wander around a little bit. I,
no,
like.
that that that's what our Aloha Friday show is about. We're non-scripted. We don't have this. We just kind of meander through talk story style,
I
and
love it.
it's wonderful. Thank you so much, Peter.
I
So
Thank you,
nice.
Kamaka. I really appreciate it. Yeah.
And
And
so
all the
many.
people out there.
Yeah, so many of our friends, are popping in and saying, their aloha, how much they've enjoyed it as well, and a lot of them talking among themselves because a lot of them know each other, um, you know, because this is
Sure.
their gathering point as well.
And
But
by the way, if we ever do this again, we
hmm,
gotta talk about the difference between Hawaiians living on the mainland and
uh,
Hawaii. Good
oh,
news. It's good talk,
oh, okay,
but
well,
that's gotta be for another day. It's
well,
two different communities,
yes, I
but
am one of those, so we need
it's
to talk
pretty.
about that.
Yes,
You
yes.
know, we got to do part two. We got to do part two, Peter.
Okay.
And if you would like to, because I like to say to our guests, the door to our hale is always open for coming back and talking more. So you and Nate Jones, you guys talk about it. He does all the scheduling, and let's make it happen. I would love it, love it, love it, Peter.
Great.
I think
Yeah,
it'd be
awesome.
wonderful. Yeah. Yeah, and here's Bella. She goes, yes, part two. You see, I already got. uh,
Yeah.
and and
Next time I should play a little music too.
I would think that'd be beautiful. Um,
Yeah, we'll sing a couple songs. That'd be great.
Abella is saying mahalo for this informative Aloha Friday, Peter
Oh,
Apo and Kamaka. So sweet over there, all the way from Long Beach. But Marty says, good fun
wow.
today. Yeah, we just hang out over here. Um, and some of the other comments are coming in. So mahalo nui for joining us, for all of our friends that have come in over here. And there's Kay going, mahalo. Thank you so much. Um, and we will be back next time on the Aloha Friday show. Always interesting conversations with folks that have a connection to the island, to the Aina. And that's what our Aloha Friday show is all about. So, on behalf of all of the natives living on the on the continent, Peter, and to everyone wherever you are, big aloha to all of you. Um, Peter is going to go back into the green room. I think still get some, I think still get some leftover sushi over there. I'm going to join you in the green room. We're going to say aloha to Peter. Aloha, Peter. Ahui ho.
Aloha.
There he goes, back to our green room. And to all of our friends that joined us today, thank you so much. Love your comments. To friends that are joining us for the first time, We absolutely love the participation. You guys all make it happen over here. Also, just a big mahalo to friends that make the Aloha Friday show possible. And here we go with that.